Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today's question comes from Will Shattuck, KN6TZK, and he is talking about his inability to keep up with some big gun contesters. He lives in, he's in Northern California, I think. He says, thanks for all your videos. You've helped this new ham learn a lot. I passed my tech in April and my general 2 months later in June, and have loved every minute of it. Very good. I've learned how to operate single sideband, check in the nets, and learned how to work Old Miss. That's a group of people who meet on, I think, 80 meters for a net. They're very inclusive. I've also learned how to contest with RIDI and FT8 too. But my question is about my next better antenna. My rig is a Zyku G90. Okay. Understand that the G90 is not designed to the same standards that an ICOM 7300 or a Kenwood or a Yaesu is built to. Yaesu's got a new FT, I think it's 710, that is a very nice new radio. But the Zygu G90 does work, but it's not going to give you the same performance that these other radios give you. My antenna is a G5RV Junior, meaning 40 through 10. With the apex of 31 feet in an inverted V. I'm assuming, since you're using a G5RV, that there's a tuner in there somewhere. Okay, I've joined up with a group called the NCDXC, and I know exactly what that is. That's a Northern California DX Club. It's an organization of people who are extremely committed to the idea of DXing, and in fact go so far as to fund DXpeditions to take hams to faraway places in the world where there are no hams or very few hams, and activate those places so people can add another country to their list. These are hardcore DXers. They're expert at what they do. Most of them, many of them, have big stations, meaning very good radios such as the Kenwood 7850 or the ICOM, let's see, that would be 7610. There's a bunch of radios that are very high end. I don't have one because I'm not rich enough to do that. They have helped me tremendously with getting used to working DX. That's great. You have what is called a peanut whistle station. You're putting out a little bit of power, and with luck you can get some very interesting contacts. The people with the bigger stations and the amplifiers, a lot of those people have legal limit amplifiers, and they have Yagis on tall towers and so on, can do very well. Says, I'm in Central California. My G5RV Junior is oriented so the broadside is east to west. Actually, that's not a very good orientation, because if you take a globe and you look east from where you are and you keep following the line around, I'll show you. Okay, you're here in California, and if you go east here, that great circle line is going to come down here through Hawaii, the South Pacific, down to Australia, come back up through Africa, sort of, and come back across the U.S. like that. And the thing is, you're not getting anything in South America. You are getting some of Africa, but none of Europe, or the Soviet Union, or the Far East, or the Middle East. Okay? To get to Europe, you need to shoot kind of north, because then your line will go up over and come down into Europe. Okay? Now, to get over into Asia, you need to shoot still kind of north. So you come up on a great circle route up over Japan. So you might experiment a little bit with the orientation of that. Okay, now, as far as, let's see, wires are pointed north-south. I'm able to reach all the states into Canada, yes, but can't seem to reach station in South America or Europe because you're aimed away from them. Okay, I know 20 watts isn't a lot. It isn't. And I'm going to get an amplifier. Don't get an amplifier for the G5RV. Please get a true 100-watt radio like the ICOM 7300, and then add the amplifier to that. And I'll tell you why. The ARRL, in its review of the G90, says that it barely met the FCC specifications for spurious emissions. If you put an amplifier behind that, you will actually also amplify these spurious emissions, and they will be higher than the allowed amount. What you need to do is get yourself a radio like an ICOM 7310, which will take you to 100 watts and has a much better receiver. Okay, and you can't work them if you can't hear them. And then if you want to add 500 watts to that, that's fine. But at some point, you're going to want to change your antenna. I would suggest for working DX that you plan on making a vertical or buying a vertical. Probably the least expensive vertical out there that will perform as a full-size vertical is the DX Commander. I know it comes from Britain, so it's a little slow, but it's actually a fan vertical, very different from other verticals. So it has a full-length wire on each band. And this has radials. Now, the vertical will give you a lower elevation pattern out, so you'll travel farther, and it will do it in all directions, okay, rather than the G5RV. If your lot is small, you can still fit the vertical on it. Ideally, you'd ground mount it and then put the radials going out in every direction. I believe the antenna comes with a roll of wire that you can use for radials. You can make them as short as 10 feet. 20 might be a little bit better, but it doesn't matter if it's a ground-mounted vertical. And the thing can do actually quite well. I've tested one. The instruction manual is not what I'd call the world's best, but if you also look at the videos that go with it, you'll get the idea, and you can put the thing together pretty quickly. Follow the instructions carefully, or it will collapse on you. So that would be an antenna that would be inexpensive and a great next step for an antenna. You want to upgrade your radio. The reason is because you want a better receiver than what is afforded in the G90. And you'll get that with an ICOM 7300. I don't think you need to move to a 7610 at this point because that's a far more expensive radio, although it is designed for DXing and contesting. But, like I say, a 7300 will work very well. Did I say 7310 at some point? There's no 7310. It's 7300, ICOM 7300. It's a great radio. It's been part of the reference station for quite some time now. So go ahead and upgrade your station and upgrade your antenna. I think the next step for you wanting to work DX is a vertical. And the verticals actually can be put up in a fairly small backyard. The radials do not have to be laid out equally, although if you have an unequal layout on the radials, say fewer on the north side than on the south side, your signal will slightly tend to the south. So there you have it. I think that is what I would suggest that you do, both improve your receiver and also get a vertical antenna. And, you know, you can set goals for what you can get first and so on. You can also borrow radios that are from the Japanese Big Three, or really special. There's two American manufacturers, Flex Radio and Videograhed, who make outstanding DX radios, but they are quite expensive. They don't make entry-level radios. So there you have it, a few ideas for improving your what sounds like serious DXing. Please like and subscribe, and if you want to contribute to channel funds to help keep this channel going, please go to dcasler.com/support and find a way there that works for you. And until we next meet, 73.